Welcome back to the Red Crew. It's your boy Chesco. I'm here with Matthew. Behind the camera we have C. And we are here to recap UFC 315?
315.
315. Jack Della Maddalena versus Belal Muhammad. Very fun card. We weren't really expecting it, were we?
I really was not super enthusiastic about this one, but I was wrong.
Every fight was pretty good. It started with Benoit Saint-Denis versus Kyle Propolic.
So Pollock took it on a 2-week notice.
2-week notice. Benoit Saint-Denis started wrestling like he does a lot of times. And he just flat out dominated this kid. This kid is he is 18-9, so probably doesn't belong in there with Benoit Saint-Denis. Two of his 3 losses are to Dustin Poirier and Money Moicano.
Yeah, I mean, I think he knew what was the danger in there, and he didn't give him the opportunity to get into the fight, which is the idea of what you want to do, you know. So I was impressed at his ability to just shut his game down completely.
Well,
he gassed him in the first round, and then
I don't think there was enough time to gas him. I just think he dominated him. It's like you look gassed when you're on the ground.
Well, I think the idea was to start early with that because you're going to gas out those arms.
Yeah.
He clearly hits hard because what he did land had an effect. It was clearly a significant strike, but it was far and few in between. And at the end of the day, his arms were gassed. Benoit snuck real quickly into that arm triangle perfectly from the takedown. You saw him immediately make that switch into the arm triangle, and everybody knew as soon as that was in there, it was like, oh, this is it.
Yeah, Benoit and Saint-Denis, like in the beginning of the second round, I don't know if he just wanted to knock him out and he went for broke. When those are the few strikes that Propolic was able to land when Benoit Saint-Denis took that risk, but after that it was pretty much game over.
It was a clinic on that one.
Yeah, so anything for Benoit Saint-Denis after this? Don't want to take credit away from him. He did his job, right? There's plenty of times that they change the opponent on you last minute. He's probably not up to your level and everything, but you gotta go take care of business. So he took care of business.
Yeah, I mean they wanted him on the card. I mean they needed Canadians on the card.
He's French though.
But is he from?
He's French.
He's French.
He's from France.
Really?
Yeah. He's from France.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
I mean.
He could be French Canadian.
Close, yeah, I don't know. Nonetheless, they obviously were going for him, and
but no, it works. Now he has to try to fight somebody. He's ranked 13th or 15th, if I'm not mistaken.
13th.
He's ranked 13th.
I mean, he's got all the options.
So
he just needed to, keep his contract. So he's still in the game, and
he needed to keep his ranking.
Needs to go forward with some good decisions on what fights he takes. And work back into the real W's,
And
but he's a good fighter, so I think he just needs to.
Grant Dawson will be a good fight. Grant Dawson is an up and comer. He's coming off of a good good outings. If he can fight Grant Dawson, it's really a better fight for Grant Dawson to fight somebody like Benoit Saint-Denis. But either way, you still kind of gotta go and take your L, well, not your L's, but you got to go and take your risk there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think obviously being at 15, everything from there, if you want to move up, is a risk. So try to make calculated risks and train hard.
All right, the next fight of the night was who was it?
It was Alexa Grasso versus
Natalia Silva.
Man, Silva, hit me up, girl.
She's fine.
She is a beautiful girl, but man, that girl can fight. She is hella fast. Her striking looked world class today. I'm absolutely, and against Grasso, so I'm really rooting for that girl. I'd love to see her against Shevchenko. Honestly, I think that's a fantastic fight. It's going to be a major challenge, which goes without saying. But man, fantastic guy. So I really like her.
I was shocked. I'm a big Grasso fan. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't expect for what happened to happen. And I was a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie.
I want to ride with my Mexicans. Don't get me wrong, but I'm really a technical kickboxer fan. So when I was watching that, I was like, I switched teams real quick. I was like, man, Silva, you're striking really, really.
It's crazy what happens to like former champions after one loss because remember she fought what's her name? Uh she fought Valentina Shevchenko 3 times in a row. The last one she got dominated pretty bad. However, the first two she won one, tied the second one, and then she comes out here versus a very good fighter. However, I think maybe one dimensional. She had a very good game plan, but it was one game plan, Silva. And that game plan just kind of completely took her out of her.
Well, I think it's a couple things, like I told you. So she did three fights in a row at five rounds.
Yeah.
So then go into a 3-round fight with somebody as explosive as Silva. I think that played a big part in adjusting your game to the intensity that you fight for 15 minutes versus 25. So I think that really took a big change for her. And then Shevchenko's a lot more measured and she's a lot more conservative with her striking style and very, very effective, but not as busy. And Silva was very, very busy. But again, she's a 3-round fighter as of now. So looking at 5 rounds in the future, let's see what Silva does. If Silva can hold up that kind of intensity for 5 rounds, she's a major problem. So, the future is going to tell us. And, how does she handle the takedowns and stuff like that? Because we didn't see that tonight. But either way, I think she definitely belongs in a title fight. But
is Grasso done?
Grasso, I think she needs to make the adjustments back to 3 rounds to find her way back up. I think she figured it'd be this fight and then another 5-round fight. So those adjustments take some time, and then to have those adjustments be made with somebody who is this explosive and so quick and almost technically perfect in terms of the kickboxing tonight.
Why is Zhang Wei Li ranked here?
She probably had a fight early on.
But why is she second?
She's second at that weight class?
Yes.
Really? I mean, that would be a fun fight, too.
Or is this the pound for pound rankings? Maybe I'm looking at that. Let me see. Women's pound for pound, yes. Okay, that was high. All right, women's flyweight. So Alexa Grasso. Well, there's names here. She could fight somebody like Rose now. That could headline a fight night for sure.
I mean, but what's next for Shevchenko?
Well, Shevchenko, yeah, I think it's either Silva or the rematch with Fiora.
Well, we haven't gotten to that fight yet,
Yeah,
but obviously we spoiled that. But in terms of,
the question is, does Silva fight Shevchenko next? And I guess we'll talk about it when we get to the Shevchenko
I mean, I think it
fight.
makes perfect sense because they fought the same night. Obviously, both
The question
winners.
is, was that fight close enough for the immediate rematch? We'll get to it in a little bit. All right, Jose Aldo versus
Ayman Zahabi.
very good fight of the night, I think. Well, I don't know that.
There were so many fantastic fights. That's
very good fights.
There might be a couple extra
Yes.
bonuses be put out there because it was an awesome night of fights with not all the fan favorites. So it's really impressive.
Was very good fight. Shout out to the night, and this fight was very good. I don't know if y'all are Jose Aldo fans. I clearly am. I clearly am. I'm a huge Jose Aldo fan.
And Jose Aldo still fucking has it, man. He is so fucking clean, especially early on in the fight. It's like round 2 is like, for Jose Aldo, is like he's gotten his timing. You can't hit him. He's hitting the shit out of you. Now, nearing the end of round 2, he starts gassing. He's muscle bound. I'm sure his fight camp was not the best because, he talked about...
Missed weight. He missed weight by a lot, too.
He talked about his will to do this anymore and isn't really there.
Well, he retired at the end of the fight.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's the spoiler there. He retires at the end of the fight.
King of Rio retired. Bet one of the GOATs of the featherweight division. It kind of sucks. It sucks when you have the GOAT debate, which is so impressive for Dominic Cruz that he hasn't been elite for a long time due to his injuries. Nobody's really surpassed him in that. But every other division, the newer guy is always going to be better just because of evolution. Like
Yeah.
when you've been able to see the GOAT before you're going to be better than him just because
You
evolution.
have more information.
You got more information. You learn from him.
And all the trainers have more information on how to train you.
No, and humans
and you can
are
do
better.
more. You can do more in a
Yeah.
shorter period of time. There's more science for your training camps, for your dietary,
All
your
that.
training, how to recover. Everything is better.
Switching subjects for 30 seconds. I think it's ridiculous when all these NBA like lifers and older people are like, back in our day there was no load management. We trained hard every day and we played every game. Yeah, and you were retired by 36. LeBron is 40. Kevin Durant is 37. James Harden is 36. Steph Curry's 37. And they're all stars, elite, running their teams. Why? Because when you were retired at 37, 38, these guys are still at the top of their game. At 37, 38, that's why. Because they take care of the load management. They don't do things they shouldn't do. They're more efficient. There's better medicine. Evolution is real. I hate when people act like evolution is real in everything except sports.
Yeah, it's funny because people will make these arguments for this person being better than this person or whatever because of larger gaps in between like that person and the people that were playing at that time. And it's like, well, those gaps are much larger then because the rest of the players were not as elevated. Now, all players are better. So the GOATs today have to play against a lot of better players.
Yes.
So the defense against Curry is better. The defense against
Exactly.
LeBron is better.
Are we talking about Michael Jordan and LeBron James?
No. We're just saying, for example, I want to go give right back
Which is
to
it's a fair thing to compare,
Yeah.
but on the same take, it's also not fair because times are different. The quality of players that Michael Jordan was playing is not the quality of players
not.
that these gentlemen are
And
playing.
we'll end it there so we don't get into that debate. But what I'm saying is, like, I think it's unfair to say, I don't care who the go to the division is. What I'm saying is that Jose Aldo lost to Max Holloway twice, right? Convincingly. That's fine. Does that make Holloway better than Aldo? I guess. And then Volkanovski beats Holloway. Does that make him better than him? I guess. It's not a secret that one came before the other and that one got better because of that one.
Well, I mean, a better person to compare would be like Anderson Silva.
Yes.
But the people that Anderson Silva was fighting is not the people
that
that Adesanya was fighting.
Yes.
Like it's an unfair playing field, and the fighters are all better now. And nobody looks like the fighters that you were watching when Rich Franklin was fighting, and like those guys versus these guys in terms of their technical abilities and like what they understand now in terms of takedown defense. And I mean, if you look at the takedown defense that Chuck Liddell had, who had really good takedown defense,
until he didn't.
He'd get taken down in 5 seconds today.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different game. But shout out to Jose Aldo. And the third round was amazing.
He's so slick, man.
He pulled out the Chad Mendes. The only thing, it wasn't the knee. It was like a soccer kick. And he got him right on the jaw. And Zahabi ate it. Well, not ate it.
I was going to say, we haven't talked about Zahabi. Zahabi, obviously not as decorated and not as clean and beautiful as Jose Aldo's. Huh?
His family is, though. For us, Zahabi, for those of you who don't know, was GSP's head coach. He is a world-renowned coach. And so is
TriStar.
Yes, and that gym is full of monsters, and today's Zahabi showed it.
Well, he showed the dog, his grit, and he got in there and he ultimately won the fight against Jose Aldo, who I think is just clearly better, but again didn't really want to be there anymore. And I think he had a good time while he still felt good, but as he felt exhausted, he realized why he was retiring, why he doesn't want to do this anymore.
But I think that losing that way is a great fight to lose. It was close. You fought. You
looked
you
great.
were in there. You looked great, and then you put your gloves down. And shout out to the King of Rio.
It's just
Shut
it's so hard to do these weight cuts, to do these camps, to do this and that, and it's like if you don't
Well,
want to
he's
do
like
it,
38,
get the fuck
37.
out,
Yeah, he's
dude.
38.
If you don't want to be killing yourself like that, please get out because it's not fair to the people you're fighting. It's not fair to the company, and definitely to your family. So save your brain cells, save your heart, and go make a lot of champions if it's something you still want to be a part of.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. The next fight was
Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot.
Man and Fior.
Fior, I'm sorry.
Hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. And I'm putting this out there right now. If there's a rematch, which there's a case for this.
Absolutely.
There's a case for this immediate rematch. I think in an immediate rematch, I think Fior, with all the respect that Valentina Shevchenko deserves, I think she wins quite handily. I feel like Fior did not look good in the fight. She looked like she was, and what I mean by that is like she seemed like she was figuring it out as she was going.
Yeah.
She was kind of lost in there, but she is so talented that she was figuring it out. And we kind of, it was in the air. Like it wasn't a robbery by any means. But if it would have gone to Fior, nobody would have been like, oh, she didn't deserve it.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that fight, it was so close. And I feel like she gave away the first round. The first round was just dumb.
Well, I actually disagree. I think that Shevchenko will come back better. I think she's just such a she's such a scholar of the game. Her life is fighting. Her life is training, whether it be that or shooting or probably a million other things that she does. I just don't see her coming back worse. I think she's going to see the things she was doing wrong. She's going to see she wasn't pulling the trigger, and she's going to see the places where she just wasn't strong. Against the cage, she just really didn't have the leverage to be as strong. And Fior, was able to dominate those situations. But, obviously, she got tore up. Her face was tore up. And Shevchenko really looked almost exactly like when she walked in there. And I think that she'll go and just tweak a couple things and just dominate the second fight. So
she can make it.
But I do think they probably do immediate rematch because if this one was very close. But I do think whichever way it goes, I don't think the second fight will be close.
I kind of agree with that. And I don't want to sound like I'm going against Shevchenko. It's like she's such a legend, it would sound stupid.
So when would this fight happen?
They'll both need about 6 months.
October.
Yeah, they both need about 6 months. So
October,
November, maybe even December. But what you call it? I just feel like, and it sounds like I'm ragging on Shevchenko. I don't want to do that. My thing is, I think everybody, going back to Jose Aldo's conversation, Shevchenko is the GOAT of her division, and the only person who may be above her in women's MMA is Amanda Nunes. Nobody else competes with her. I just feel like at MMA, UFC, at a certain point, you are who you are. I feel like you stop getting better after a while. Again, it's part of human nature. Yes, it's part of evolution. And you peak at a point, and
people are going to keep growing.
And people are going to keep growing and catching up. And I feel like Fior is one of those that is still on her way up. And just because of age, attrition, evolution, Shevchenko's on her way down. She's still way up there.
Well, I think she's kind of plateaued. I don't think she's on her way down.
Yeah.
I think...
Or she has no other way but down, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe she's not on her way down, but she's not going to keep growing. And
Well, the thing is she can still analyze very well and make the adjustments while maybe not getting better at any specific
but I feel like
martial art aspect.
Weren't like skill set today. I feel like today her weaknesses was that the reason she was getting like pushed against the fence is because she's just smaller. Yeah. Like she's not going to get any bigger. And Fior, the only reason she was pushing her, there was no skill to it. It was just because she was bigger. If she adds a little skill to it, if she has a better game plan to it, I don't think there's much Shevchenko could do to override that. Because she's smaller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the physical ability, I think that the mistakes that Fior made on the feet were at one point amateur. She was walking into jabs. Like, I get me doing that. but like somebody who's that damn good shouldn't be walking into those jabs and those hooks. Tell me if I'm wrong. The game plan that the coach gave her was terrible. It was
You need to finish
terrible.
her.
You need to finish her in a fight that it was pretty much 2-2. Because that's what the judge's scorecard ended up being. Can you try to pull up the scorecards of the
But
fight?
I almost kind of feel that way with Shevchenko as well. I didn't like her just standing, essentially, growing roots. That was what she was doing. It was almost like, really Muay Thai style of kind of plant and don't move. But the issue with that is, you are the shorter person and you are the one doing more damage in the stand-up. And granted, it was because, she took less hits. But I think, with her doing that kind of damage, I think she could have put quite a bit more and made it a lot more decisive, especially in this fight, if Shevchenko would have been more aggressive. And I think a lot of these strikers, not to say that I have a higher IQ, but just, from sitting in the perfect seat watching it on TV, she just didn't pull the trigger enough. And to me, it was kind of the same thing with like Merab and Sean O'Malley. It's like Sean O'Malley did a really good job of defending the grappling exchanges and stuff, but didn't do anything offensive. So I think we see that a lot of times with the most elite strikers. A lot of times they just don't pull the trigger. Pereira in this last fight, they can't get trigger shy. You gotta pull the trigger.
What were the scorecards?
48, 47, 48.
No, I get that, but round by round.
So, I mean, there's 5 judges.
Well,
10,
there's 3
9.
judges.
According to this scorecard.
No, that's 5 rounds, bro.
5 rounds, 3 judges.
Yeah. 10-9.
Who?
10-9 Shevchenko.
The first round, yeah.
9-10 second round.
Fior.
9-10 third round.
Fior.
10-9 Shevchenko.
And 10-9 Shevchenko. We got it right. That 5th round was the decider, and it's like, I get it. You have to tell your fighter, but you have to tell him to win the round. And I think the key to the winning every round that Fior won, when she was throwing that head kick that was never close to landing, ever. But it forced Shevchenko to stop every time she threw it. And every time she threw it, when you throw that head kick over and over again and you're just there, what do you have to do after? You have to go after it, right? You have to take a step forward. And that's when she was able to get into the clinches and all that.
So the second judge gave round 3 to Shevchenko and round 2 to Fiorot.
It's that those were the only 2 that were debatable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think 4 was debatable. I don't think really 5. Well, 5 was debatable. But
so that's close.
I think damage-wise, I think it just went down.
Yeah.
Shevchenko just did more damage, which is what these fights are scored off of, not just control. And that being said, is like imagine if Shevchenko actually let her weapons go. In the middle of the ring, she wasn't getting even shot at. And then against the cage, she was getting put against the cage because she wasn't backing up Fior. So if in a second fight, she backed up Fior's pretty fucked.
no, true. But Matthew said it. It was like the 1 minute mark left in the 5th round. She got her back and started kneeing that hamstring. You said it. If you do that for the rest of the minute, you win the fight. What did she do? She let her go. And they got in the middle. That's how Shevchenko got damaged. Every time they were in the middle, Shevchenko won in that part. But if you keep her against the cage, she's not putting any damage on you. And as boring as the fight may be, you're getting points because of that. So, and that's where I think the coaching lacked for Fior. Where they should have told her that. Put her against the fence. And saying that you have to finish her in the 5th round was ridiculous.
I definitely see a purpose of a second fight. There's a lot of improvements that Fior can make, starting with their conditioning. Secondly, fighting a little longer. Keeping that kick on Shevchenko's lead hand. I think that's a really good one, just to tie that hand up and to tire it out, hurt it a little bit. And then Shevchenko has to let him go. and get off the cage.
So again, there's two options here. You're either fighting Silva or you're fighting Fior again. But either one,
Fjord's, I think, is a probably. I mean, I wouldn't say a harder fight. Just more physically imposing. But if Silva can make the adjustments in terms of the 3 round to 5 round and can keep that kind of pace, she's a problem for everybody.
yep. All right, let's move on.
Main event: Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena.
Great fight. Again, it was
Great
a
fight, man.
great card, by the way.
Muhammad was quite surprising. I'd have to say. I think he put on a hell of a fight. He fought really, really hard, and he was putting hands on Maddalena. Now, quite clearly, Maddalena is the decorated boxer. He stayed composed. He showed amazing takedown defense. He got up. He scrambled. He. It didn't look like it was a championship fight to him. To him, it just looked like it was another day in the office. Session. He was so composed. That man's a champion. I don't know. I'm really surprised by his ability to show up on championship night and to fight a very hard fight and probably one of the best Muhammads that we've ever seen, and to just control in that. So
the fight was kind of weird, I think. First round and second round, and maybe even middle of the third round, what Matthew said is true. Jack Della Maddalena felt like he was just sparring out there. He was going out there throwing the jab, combos, body, head, like kind of what they teach you on the first day of boxing class.
good.
It was just perfect. It was just jab, body, head, hook, combos, 3 to finish with the last 2. Everything they teach you on the first day.
Fundamentals.
Fundamentals.
He has great fundamentals.
Yes.
Good. His guard is at a nice place. Good head movement, and then the ability to fight the takedowns. And when he did get taken down, didn't stay there. You could see he got a little winded, and still, pushed forward. So he was really prepared for this fight. And granted, he needs a little bit more work on the conditioning, which is also debatable because he's fighting somebody who is going to push a lot of pressure against that cage and really work him in a way that he wasn't used to. But on the same token, he was prepared for technically those positions, and then also getting a lot more striking than he probably expected from Belal Muhammad.
Can you try to pull up those scorecards, please, if you can?
I can't find it. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Never had up yet.
Listen, what you call it? And Matthew said something heading into the 5th round, which I don't know. He might have been right. And I think he was right. Around the middle of the 3rd round, Belal started to do better in the striking, and there is a possibility, since it's the middle of the 3rd round, that he could have won that round, maybe. And then I think he did better in the striking. In the 4th round, he got a little bit of a takedown. Didn't do much with it, but he got a takedown. So he might have won that 4th round. And there's a small possibility that it could have been 2-2 heading into the 5th round. Well, not in a few of them, because I think it was like 3. There's one that it went like 4-1. But what I mean is, that could have been true. Especially when they showed the copy box numbers and significant strikes and things like that. However, the optics never looked good for Belal. Yeah, because Belal started doing better in the striking, but when Belal would land a jab in a straight, De La Maddalena wouldn't react that bad to it. Every time Jack landed something, Belal would act like he got hit by a hammer. Like, his reactions were heavy. You know what I mean? They were big.
I mean, Jack is a...
All right, scorecards. 9-10 Muhammad, 1st round.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Both 2 judges.
Got a 9-10.
9-10.
Actually, I think I agreed with that one.
Really?
Round 2, 10-9. Round 3, 10-9. round 4, 9, 10, and round 5, 10, 9.
So it
The,
was
all judges scored it the same.
Except for that one.
But all of them had it 2-2 going into the 5th round?
Yeah.
Yeah? So it was anybody's round. The last round was the decider.
Actually, no.
No, I remember there.
Oh, there was one,
Yeah.
48, 46 or something.
48, 47.
48-47 is 3-2. There was two 48-47,
Yeah.
So,
and there was one 44-40.
Majority
49,
was
46.
49-46 is
majority was 2-2
yeah.
going into the
There was
5th round.
2-2-2, and there was one that gave it like basically auto jack.
Yeah.
It went 4-1. Yeah. But and it's just like the optics. He never looked good. Like the entire fight was always in where Jack
So it
wanted
was 2-2 going into the 5th round.
for two of the judges.
Yeah.
So all of that is like Jack always kind of dictated the fight, which looked better for Jack. I think.
Yeah, that's why I won.
Now, quick question. Moving on with this division, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that it seems like in this division there won't be a dominant champion for a while? It seems like this division can. Which I want to ask you: do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Because
I mean, if Islam gets it, I mean,
there's a lot of guys who could beat Islam just because of pure
man.
size, man.
Islam's big, dude. He has to cut a lot of
they're
weight
bigger.
to be there. I mean, he's a big guy.
I think he could be Jack.
He's almost 6 foot, ain't he? Because both of them were 5'11".
Yeah.
But
So-
how tall is Ian Gary? Ian Gary's big. Ian Gary's
Gary's
big.
like 6'2", 6'3".
Like Shavkat is big. Those guys are big.
6'3".
6'3".
Sean Brady is not tall, but Sean Brady.
I mean, imagine
big.
how big Islam's gonna look at fucking.
I think he could beat Jack.
Tom
However,
Brady's 5'9".
no, yeah, but he's big, like big.
How big is Islam?
You gotta be around 5'10", I think.
I think he's 6 foot. 5'11", 6 foot.
Yeah.
5'10".
Yeah,
Okay,
he's 5'10".
5'10".
So
Not small, not big, but
Five.
he can muscle up for 170.
5 inches. Make
But
a
he'll have
difference.
to probably give up. He'll have to give up the 155. And there's probably not much left at 155 for him. So
he gives up the
I
155.
think he can do it, and I think he's more skilled than anybody at
He's only
170.
33.
As long as fucking Chimaev stays at 185.
Yeah, he can't make 170, but it's like
I mean, he's done it though. But I mean, he's big right now.
yeah,
Muscular wise, he's filled out to 185. But yeah, I Islam has the skill to run it. That would really make him the GOAT of MMA all time.
if he runs the division, which again, and it's not a knock on him. It's not a knock on him at all. If he beats Jack, that's a big accomplishment. The thing is, I think weight class exists for a reason. It's like
Yeah.
he didn't fight that long at 55 just because he wanted to.
So his next fight would be in 6 months.
Well, I think he'll probably.
In November. And
Yeah.
when's that Abu Dhabi card? That's
Yeah.
set. That's
Yeah.
pretty much, you can write that down.
What's that?
That Abu Dhabi card, the Abu Dhabi headliner is Islam versus Jack.
I'm fucking for it. Let's
Write
do
that
it, baby.
down. Lock that
And then
down.
after,
now.
because Jack's not that big, so he's 1 inch difference, and he's pretty thin.
Yes.
So I think that's a really good one for Islam, and I think Islam after that can really
The problem
bulk
comes
up.
after that, though.
No, but he has time to bulk up because if he goes and gets the belt, he could take 8 months, 9 months off.
What is next for Muhammad?
Oh, we don't really care.
Nobody likes
Muhammad
him.
has a lot of opportunities, and I think he gained a lot of fans
I think
with that one.
Sean Brady makes a lot of sense. Why? Because Sean Brady, the problem with Sean Brady is he lost to both of these guys.
Yeah.
So Sean Brady getting the rematch with Belal could be a big deal. The problem is this division is stacked. That's another reason why I don't think, again, not knocking on Islam, this division is stacked with contenders. Shavkat's a contender. Ian Gary's a contender. Who's fighting?
I just don't think any of them are as dominant as Islam.
They're wrestling based.
I'm not.
Problem. Yeah.
I don't know. Islam is just a step above, dude.
What's his name?
155 is always stacked, and it's always been stacked, and never stopped being stacked. So
Can you look up who's fighting Usman, please? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think
I got it.
Islam can make the jump, whereas like Dustin Poirier would do good at 170, but I don't see him really being a champion. But I mean, again, I don't know. He's a powerful guy, so I think a lot of these guys that, those 2 inches of height don't make as much of a difference as you think. And like
I'll give you an example.
Usman is
Joaquin Buckley.
Joaquin Buckley. You've seen him? He is humongous.
Joaquin Buckley is humongous, but so he can make that weight. So that means that Islam can put on fucking tons of weight.
But I don't think it
and his style isn't like volume based. It's really accuracy.
I don't feel like
technique.
it works that way. Because to me, the difference between Jan Blachowicz and Adesanya in skill is big, especially in Adesanya's prime, because that's when they fought. And when Adesanya went up, he couldn't. It's like, and again, it's not like we're talking going from 155 to 165. Those 15 pounds make a difference, because those are 15 pounds that, yes, okay, he can bulk up to 190. Let's say or let's say he even gets to 200. You've seen a guy like Kamaru Usman. Those guys don't look normal. They make 170 for about 20 minutes. They never touch 170 again. Those guys are really big. If you look at somebody like Shavkat, now I think he got the perfect opponent when he's fighting, for him to fight Jack Della Maddalena. He's not a great wrestler. He's not too big. And it's like a perfect style for him. So I do think he wins. I do think he beats Jack. I think the problem comes after that. Joaquin Buckley's a wrestler.
Yeah. He
can wrestle with anybody. I don't know if we still count Kamaru Usman. Sean Brady's a wrestler. So, and those are big guys. Shavkat's a wrestler. So, those are 4 elite guys that are at the top. We're not even including Belal because he won't fight Belal. But those 4 guys, can you beat... I'm not saying you can't beat 1 or 2. Can you beat all 4 of them? It's the question. He probably can. I'm just saying, it's...
I mean, I can see where the advantage is for the bigger guys, yes. But I mean, if anybody can do it, it's fucking Islam Makhachev, bro. I'm not gonna sleep on Makhachev on that. He's gonna have to make some adjustments to bigger guys, but trust me, he's got a lot of bigger guys in his camp, and he's probably wrecking them on the mat.
I want him to beat Jack, but beyond there, I'm not rooting against him by any means. I'm just saying.
I mean, just being logical, yes, there's going to be some harder fights out there, but Islam can rise to that. He probably has to drop a fuckload of weight to get to 55. Just being able to actually bulk up and then drop less weight, he's going to be a fucking animal, bro. He's just technically more sound than probably anybody at 170.
I don't. Like, he's really good.
He's probably I think he's probably the most. I think he's probably
the best.
I think he's the most technical fighter in all of the UFC, probably.
I don't agree with that either. However,
who could be more technically sound?
Technical at what though?
Everything. His striking is fucking phenomenal.
I wouldn't call it.
Is he the best striker?
Very good. It's very, very good. It's not phenomenal.
He knocked out Volkanovski. Yeah. Head kick knockout.
Okay, but we gotta tell the story how it was.
But Volkanovski,
he was on a boat the week of the same week he got knocked out.
So if they fight a third time, you think he doesn't knock him out again?
No, I don't think he knocks him out again. I think he beats him again. And I'll say this. I'll defend Islam on this. Some people told me that Volk beat him the first time. I don't agree with that.
Volk got rocked by fucking Lopez.
Yeah, but that's different. What I'm saying is that
was not a short notice fight.
The first fight, some people say that Volk won. I'm not one of those people. But that fight was too close for my liking. Because, again, weight classes matter. Sometimes we act like they don't.
Yeah.
For a 45er to come up and complicate the life the way he did, and then, you knocked him out. But, again, he was on a boat the week of that you knocked him out in. So I take that knockout with a grain of salt. Another thing, that dude is one, we talked about it. You can't be fighting every 3 weeks against champions like you think it's like you're fighting sparring partners. And that's what Volkanovski was doing that caught up to him. Now, not taking anything away from Islam. Nothing. He is not a better striker than Ian Gary. He's not. Ian Gary's martial arts is striking. Now, is he a better wrestler?
Ian Gary could also be a champion. So that's something that would be fun to see.
Oh,
yes, he's so much taller. He's bigger. But Islam is by far a better wrestler. And that is the great equalizer for all weight classes.
True.
Like Islam would he goes back and forth with fucking DC because he's like, what happened when we wrestled? And DC's like, I had you, right? And he's like, no, brother, this is live. This is big. This is bullshit. This is number one bullshit. It's fucking funny as fuck, and I like that because he's a competitor. He's like, no, nobody beats me, and he's aware that these guys are bigger,
and he's
not unaware of what he's gonna have to deal with, and if he's even thinking about going to 170, he's been training with these big guys.
I said that thing is locked in. That is locked in.
They've been training. He probably already putting on the weight. Like, I'm not fighting another 55er.
And he got the perfect opponent, by the way. It's like they drew him for him.
Yeah.
The perfect opponent is Jack for Islam. Like I said, now, and I love that for him because he deserves the double champ status. He is the pound for pound right now. What we do gotta act, he's human though. He is a human being at the end of the day who's gonna fight other great human beings.
Go back to evolution.
Exactly. He is a human being at the end of the day. Well,
he might just get starched by Maddalena. But
I hope that doesn't happen.
I don't think it's just, Belal Muhammad is not Islam. And that's the thing. I think that Islam likes to challenge himself instead of taking the easy victories. I think when he's fighting people that are more dangerous for him, he's going to find the surest route to victory. I don't think he's trying to prove anything anymore. He's going for being the absolute best MMA fighter.
Yeah, and look, and I love the challenge, and I don't want to act like Jack is a transitional champion.
Well, Belal was.
Not on purpose, though.
And seeing Volkanovski going up to 155 and doing as well as he did says that some of these weight classes, they are there for a reason.
He didn't do great.
In the first one?
He had 2 fights and lost them both.
The first one, they thought he won.
I don't agree with that. You thought he won?
Watch it again. That's crazy. Like, most people said that he won that fight. All the fighters said he won.
Matthew, so you're telling me he lost to a 145er?
I'm telling you that...
He's going to go up and beat a 170 guy?
I'm telling you that I've had multiple people tell me that, like, big people, like, their hardest fight was somebody little.
No, I agree. Look,
the hardest they've ever been hit was by this little guy. So, the weight classes are there to create some... safety to it.
Yeah.
But there's many occasions where smaller people beat bigger people. And when you're talking about somebody who is as skilled as Islam, I'm not saying it's a sure-in, but I'm saying he has definitely got the fucking skill to do it. So, you know what? Let's see it. And he may not do that good, but he might fucking starch everybody. We don't know.
I get that. A lot of people do think that Volkanovski beat him. You think Volkanovski beat him?
I did.
Really?
I did on the first one, yeah.
I don't. I think
I wasn't. It was, to me, it was like the Shevchenko and Fior. That's what it was. It was like,
yeah, you're right. I agree with you on that.
It was that close.
It was.
If Volkanovski would have got it, I'd have been like, fuck yeah. And when Islam got it, I was like, you know what? I
kind of wanted Volkanovski to get it. That would have been amazing.
I could see it. So I could see it either way. And watching it 3, 4, 5 times, I'll see a different.
And another thing people are ignoring, like the last person who got the double champ. Was it Amanda Nunes? With all due respect to the women, it's not the same thing as the men.
Well, there's not enough people in the higher weight classes.
But let's not act like people haven't tried it. Plenty have.
Yeah.
They can't do it. It's hard because
it's for the greats.
But the greats are the ones that have been doing it. It's not like they're letting Jack do it. They let Israel do it. He couldn't do it.
Well, I mean, Jack's on his way.
No, he's not.
Dude, he's got more wins put together than most people. Like in the championship status.
I think it's more.
So it's really seeing him. It's really seeing him against these really well-rounded fighters.
It's not popularity. The guys who have gotten the chance to go for double champ are legends. DC went up. There's nobody DC hasn't beaten. Well,
and the way they win, the way Connor would win, and I think that's really what makes it. It's like they would do this to world-class fighters and beat them in incredible ways. So it's like the way that Islam beats people is really why he's getting that. And I'm excited to see it. Do I think it's going to be a cakewalk? No.
What? It's crazy. I sound like I'm going back and forth. I'm just saying I think Islam beats Jack.
I understand that there's more fights and there's more well-rounded fighters. Shavkat is a fucking problem.
I'm sorry, I'll put my house on it. Have y'all seen Shavkat?
He's a big guy. He's very
He's a
rough,
humongous guy.
but he doesn't always fight very smart. He's very physically imposing. But that physically imposing against somebody so technical like Islam may not go well. So I want to see that. I want to see that more than I want to see him fight Maddalena.
Shavkat's undefeated. Shavkat's undefeated. One fight went the distance, and nobody was like, "Oh, I think Ian Gary won." Ian Gary, by the way, it's not like, "Oh, he just that." It's not like, "Oh, he just beat somebody." He beat Ian Gary in a unanimous decision, and people were like, "Oh shit, he didn't finish it." That's the only fight he hasn't finished.
And I think Shavkat's a fucking champion. That's why I want to see these best of the best do this. And
I want to see the attempt. I agree with you. Now, to put the pressure...
that would be probably the next fight, wouldn't it?
The problem is that there's so many guys at the same place. Like, you saw what Ian Gary just did to Prates, who was starching people, like, back and forth? The live went out. Alright, it's fine. You can leave it. We're about to finish anyway.
But fun thing to look at. Yes. I think at the very end of it,
I do want to see the attempt. You're right.
It's very dangerous move to do when you're wrecking everybody. But he probably is like, you know what? I don't want to do this for another 10 fights. I want to do something ballsy. I think I'm the best. I'm gonna go and prove it in the scariest fucking way. And if I fail, well, I failed at something that everybody thought I was gonna fail at. And
I think he deserves it.
Like, fucking right, dude. Their team is fucking fantastic.
This shit saying that Dricus is now going to go up and fight Pereira. I'm like, shut up. You can't just win 2 fights and think that you're going to go up and... No, you have to defend over and over and over and over again. And Islam ran through the division. So he deserves it. You got to run through the division. I think it's unfair to ask somebody to run through 2 divisions. It's just kind of crazy. Like, DC didn't do it. Conor didn't do it. Amanda Nunes didn't do it. Amanda Nunes never even defended that other damn title. Conor never defended either title. DC went and fought Derek Lewis once. That's the only time he defended it. It's like, it's unfair to ask a human being to be like, hey, you beat all these monsters. Because he's being monsters. He hasn't been regular guys. He's being monsters. He's being Justin Gaethje. He's being Dustin Poirier. He's being Charles Oliveira. He's being monsters. It's unfair to ask him, hey, go beat these other monsters that are bigger than you.
But the thing is, he's the one asking for it. He's the champion. He's the one that they don't even want double champs anymore. Yeah. But it's just he is as fucking good as he is. And they know his team and they know who he came from. He came from Khabib. Khabib could fight at 170. It's crazy. Khabib could definitely fight at 170.
But there's a reason he didn't, though. Huh? There's a reason he didn't.
There's multiple reasons, but he would have eventually done it, and I think he would have been successful. I don't think there was anybody that could deal with his fucking wrestling.
Like I love how everybody says it. Oh, it's so easy. I'm gonna go up 15 pounds and beat a guy who.
But Khabib was already walking around 200 pounds. That was known.
Yeah, but
he would walk around 200 pounds, and he was obviously never fat.
No, yeah, he would walk around off camp.
That's what I'm saying. Not
200 pounds. In the middle of camp, he's not 200 pounds.
He's still 85, 90, like
70-ish, yeah, 75.
So he would still be slightly smaller than the 70.
During camp is 200 pounds. That's the difference. Those guys during camp are 300. I'm sorry, 200 pounds.
Yeah, but on the same token, skill level, Usman was not Islam. I don't think Usman was not Khabib. The way the grappling level is a couple levels above other people.
Usman didn't have the finishing ability that Islam had, especially in the submission. But Usman was a dominant champion. That's a guy who ran through the division twice, by the way. He went... Did he ever even make the attempt at 185? No. Because it's ridiculous. It's like, it's hard to do. And when he went, he lost to a contender.
No, but he wanted to, though. But he wanted to. They didn't want him to.
But he went up and he fought and lost. Like, it's because it's hard to do. It's all I'm trying to... I'm not saying he's not skilled.
But he didn't do it at his peak. Some people can do it depending on how they're built, how their muscle is, how much they drop, and what their style is. Islam has the perfect style to move up in weight.
Yeah, and for example, people are saying that Usman is going to now... He looked good in that 185 fight, even though he lost, clearly. He's like, oh, he should stay there. No, he himself is like, no. They're bigger. They're just bigger. My skill set doesn't translate as well there. because they're bigger.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
that's what I'm
it's-
saying is like certain people where their style is based off of being bigger and stronger. When they go up in weight, they are no longer bigger and stronger, and it doesn't translate. Islam's style is not based off of being bigger and stronger. It's off of being
Well,
better.
wrestling the size matters.
Wrestling size does matter, but the technical abilities of these Dagestani wrestlers it's superior. They're superior at least right now,
They're out there
and
wrestling.
their training regimen is so much harder. They're very, very hard to beat, and I think he has a very fair chance of doing it.
So,
I don't give him a favorite, but I do say that he has a very fair chance of being very competitive and being the 170-pound champion.
Against Jack, though. I would say that. Like I said, this is my prediction. I'm putting that out there. He beats Jack, which is going to be a close fight. I don't think he ragdolls Jack.
It'll be in November.
I think we'll be very surprised at how big he will be and
After
how
that,
strong he will look.
After that, I don't mean like he's gonna lose 10 times in a row. I mean like whoever he fights, I don't think he beats either one of them. I just think the styles are against him, and unless they give him like a Leon Edwards or somebody like that. But which is not. It seems like all the contenders are very good wrestlers.
I'll put it out there. I think he gets the belt and defends it.
Against
Whoever.
I
think he beats literally whoever the next fight is.
I'll say this.
If it's Shavkat, I think he beats Shavkat. I think he beats Ian Gary.
I'll say this though. I think this would be beautiful. He wins the belt. Cause this is true. I think you'll agree with me on this. To beat Jack, he doesn't have to bulk up that match. He has to bulk up.
Then go back to 155 and run it.
Not run it. I say he goes back. He beats Jack. Goes back to 155 for Topuria. And that's legacy there. Because, again, everybody's good. Like, you just said Buckley. Buckley is a very good fighter. Not that big of a name. With all due respect. You can lose to Buckley and there's no shame in that. So, because he's really, really good.
Yeah, Buckley's bad.
But
motherfucker.
You beating Jack at 170. Jack is not the biggest name, but you went up and you got the double champ. And you come back and you defend against somebody who is knocking down goats like Topuria is. That's legacy at that point. That's the WWE factor of the UFC. You know what I mean? Where you're beating the biggest names. He has nothing to prove. Like, he has nothing to prove. If he loses to Ian Gary, Buckley, Usman, whoever he loses to, it doesn't make him any less great. Like, in the UFC, I think that's what UFC does, the boxing does. When you lose in boxing, you're trash now.
Yeah.
In the UFC, you're losing to the best of the best. So losing really doesn't mean much. Because you risked it. Because you risked it, you took the risk, and now, you're still known as that. So I think I prefer to see that. Go beat Jack, and then go beat Ilya.
I think focus one fight at a time, because everything that's going to come in Islam's way right now is a fucking nightmare. So, but he is the nightmare. So I think on that same token, it's like, handle everything that's in front of you. I think that's what they do really well with their, with their faith and everything, and that's what makes them so great, is that they are super dedicated, super disciplined, and it's like when you talk about like Shevchenko not getting better anymore because she's so good. Islam is so fucking good and still can get better.
We don't know if he reached his peak though.
He's not the best striker in the world, but he is one of the best strikers, and he is probably the best grappler in the UFC. And he's strong, and he can take a hit, and he's very disciplined and responsible in the ring. I think he can do a lot of things. But again, I'm not gonna make him a favorite. Maybe against Maddalena, but say his second fight at 170, maybe not the favorite, but he can pull it off probably against anybody at 170.
Well, thank you guys for watching. We had a lot of fun tonight. It was a fun fight, and hopefully we can all be here for Marab versus O'Malley. Very good fight there.
I'm definitely down for that.
Also, Kayla Harrison's fighting for the title against Juliana Pena. That's, I guess, not the most technical fight, but there's a good story behind it.
Should be fun, too.
Should be fun, and a good card, so we'll be here for that, hopefully. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Peace.
Peace.